Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined by my most wonderful co-host, and y'all don't know her yet that well, but that's okay, you're gonna. Joined by my most wonderful co-host, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave.
Thanks for having me today.
I'm so excited to have you here with me.
I'm filling in for Judy, don't I look like Judy?
Absolutely.
I know, all fancy and everything. We miss you, Judy.
I know. We do miss her, but she had some previous engagements today, so she'll be back next week, but that's okay. I was really excited when you said yes.
I was really excited when you asked.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but you know what? For the people out there who don't know you, tell everybody a little bit about you.
So I've been in Miramichi for 22 years now.
You're one of ours.
I am. I'm in the neighborhood too. You and I and Judy,
True,
we're all in the neighborhood.
We're only a couple of streets over from each other.
So I married Kevin Forgrave. Mm-hmm. We've been together for 28 years, married for 23. We have 2 daughters, a couple of dogs. Mm-hmm. I was an educator for many, many years, and I'm done work now.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm always I don't think that Kevin and I are old enough for you to have been married 23 years and together 28. Because of course Kevin and I went to high school together, and I'm like, we just graduated like 10 years ago.
Time flies. Time definitely flies.
I mean, I lie a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it's just a little bit.
It's a big year for both of us.
I know, eh? Yeah, that's okay. So now Michelle's got the quote today. So we always love to kick off the show, and if you've ever watched the show before, you know this, but we always love to kick off the show with a quote, a positive quote, so that we can, have a little chat about it, but also to kind of give us a little lift and a little pick me up on this Monday afternoon. So Michelle, you've got the quote today.
Sure, thanks. So this quote is from one of my favorite people, sports hero to me. Mm-hmm. Think well of all, be patient with all, and try to find the good in all. So this hero of mine, he would beat anybody in the ring.
Absolutely.
To a pulp.
Absolutely.
But very much a motivational speaker and an inspiration to generations of boxing fans. And not only boxing fans, but Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and you're so right. And it's, when you think about it, right, it's really, and it's hard sometimes, to think wonderful thoughts about everybody that you come in contact with.
True.
Right? It's hard to have that, internal dialogue, but the more you do that, the more you can also gain that empathy, see where people are coming from, and sometimes understand where the undesirable behavior may be coming from as well.
And lots of times too, it's not even intentional. People don't mean to maybe do something in a negative light.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I was going around the bend to get onto the Centennial Bridge from the Douglastown side.
Oh yes.
And anyway, somebody kind of cut me off, and I just got angry, and I just thought, wait, maybe they're not paying attention, maybe something is on their mind, whatever. And I just thought, no, just don't lay on the horn, just back off, Michelle. Okay.
And you're right, and you're so right, but it's so easy, and our tempers get so short this time of year, right? And one thing I will say, so when you're out shopping, okay, over the next few weeks, don't forget that the person behind the counter is not responsible for how late you are, for how busy it is, and for the lack of stock in the stores, right? They're just there trying to earn their pay just like everybody else, and just be kind.
Be kind and share your positivity with others, because the more we do that, that has such a huge impact on people who are maybe very pessimistic.
Absolutely.
When you're happy all the time, or when you try to be, and
absolutely
you project that, or fake it. There's nothing wrong with faking it at the grocery store.
Absolutely.
You smile at people. You're waiting. Somebody is standing in front of the dairy for 10 minutes, and you want to get in there.
I know, and you're so right, because it's like, I have to tell this story. So years ago, I firmly believe, to be honest with you, that everybody should work retail or service at some point in their lives. Right? Because then you truly understand how hard it is, and like what incredible social skills you have to develop, right? But so years ago I was working retail. I worked in the fragrance industry. I worked in cosmetics and fragrance, and it was Christmas Eve morning, and I was working in Ottawa at the time, and the store opened at 7 a.m. on Christmas Eve. That's not not great.
No.
But it was what it was. And so I was working I was at work, and it was 7 a.m. I didn't love it. And I had antlers on my head because I really just needed to be happy that day. Right? And this gentleman, this older gentleman came in, and he was as rude could be. He was cranky, and he was short, and he was just not a pleasant gentleman to be around. And so I was trying really hard to find him. It was obvious that he was really stressed about finding a gift, and I was trying to help him find a gift. And
the fact that he waited till the last minute probably,
and that's the
led
thing,
to
right?
that stress.
So at one point we had been, going for about 20 minutes, and yeah, I was getting to the end of my rope at that point. And so I said to him, I said, "Sir," I said, "how can you be mean to me? I have antlers on." And then I shook my head. Right? Because they had bells on them. And so he started to laugh, and he goes, "I'm really sorry."
Aww.
And I said, I get it. I said, "Let's figure this out." But it took a while for, but I was just like, how can you be mean to me? I've got antlers on my head. Yeah. Right? But we all have those moments. And he's like, "I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Yep, no problem." So we'll move on now, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I truly do believe that everybody should either work, as a waiter or waitress, whatever, in a restaurant, or in retail. It's tough.
My eldest daughter, she worked at Starbucks for about a year and a half, and she enjoyed it for the most part. But yes, there are those times when customers come, and my younger daughter Sarah works over at Winners, and she has encountered some people who aren't all that pleasant. And I mean, this is a high school student. Like, if we look at all of the retail that we have right now in our fast food restaurants, a lot of those people working there are students.
Absolutely.
Whether they're high school or college here, and they're trying to make some money. They don't run the place.
Exactly. They're not ordering the stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a ton going on the weekend. I don't know if you made it out on Friday night, but there was the 35th annual Parade of Lights happening in the historic Chatham Business District. I got to MC.
I know that.
It was incredible. It was incredible. I'm not exaggerating. It was the most side-by-sides ATVs I've ever seen in my life. In one place. There was about 40 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Which was amazing to see, such a vibrant, active club.
Yep.
And that they all came out. And there was a ton of floats. It was great to see the participation, but I keep going back to the side-by-sides and the ATVs because I was like, where did they all come from? And there was about 40 of them. And at one point though, I'm like, what do I say after the 20th? I'm like, those are great lights on the roof. Those are great lights on the wheels. Those are great lights. But it was so wonderful to see. And then there was, our fire department and our Miramichi police force and some local businesses and some local students. It was amazing.
And I am so sad I missed it. Every year, we have always went every single year. Well, and then we had some, with COVID and stuff in the drive-through ones. And anyway, I so wanted to go to the parade this year. I was so excited. Well, Sophie was doing schoolwork. She didn't want to go. And Kevin and Sarah were away in Moncton. So I was thinking, do I just go downtown by myself and stand there?
Yeah.
So I didn't go. But I'm really sad that I didn't. So hopefully next year.
Well, Santa and Mrs. Claus made an appearance. And I think probably what made my night were all the kids. And they got to see Santa and Mrs. Claus, and they got to, and Charlie B, the therapy dog. Yes, Charlie B was there. He was there. He was pretty cute. And just really, they had a great time. There was local businesses giving out, warm beverages and candy, and
it was a nice night.
Perfect weather.
Yeah.
Like this was my 5th time as an MC for that one, and we've been in the midst of a rainstorm. We've been in the midst of a snowstorm. We've been up to our knees in snow and slush, but the last Friday night it was
awesome.
Perfect.
That is awesome.
I had a great time. So I have a question for you: real tree or artificial?
Now my husband is a forester.
I know. I know.
So I'm going to have to go with real tree.
Yeah.
Probably about 15 years ago, maybe, my mother went from a real tree at her place to an artificial tree. And Kevin had said, "You tell your mother I'm never walking in that house again."
Oh no!
It was just a joke.
Yeah.
But, so we are always real tree.
Firmly
So,
in the
yes.
real, eh?
So this past Saturday, we went and cut down our tree.
Oh.
We go to a tree farm back on the Oldfield Road,
Yeah.
owned by Norman Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
And every year we go up there, we walk around.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. We've been there in snowstorms. We've been in snow up to our waist. We've been there on nice days with sun, and you didn't have to wear your jacket.
Yeah.
So when we went on Saturday, we had to wait because Sarah had worked until 2 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we got up there, it was really gray, and then it started raining a little bit. And I said, this is the first time we've ever cut down our tree like in the rain.
Yeah.
So yeah. And we cut down 3 trees because Sarah gets one for her room, we get one for the living room, and Kevin's mom has started coming with us.
Yes.
And she will help cut down her own tree.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is awesome.
What a wonderful family tradition.
Yeah. So, what about you? Real tree or artificial tree?
Well, oddly enough, we go back and forth. So sometimes we've had the real one. So last year we had an artificial. 2 years ago we had a real one. Went and picked it up. We don't cut it down. We get it from a local vendor, local lot. But so this year we're going with artificial, and for a very important reason. So we have he's a year old now, the puppy. I call him the puppy, but we have a puppy who's a year old now. He drank the water. The last couple of times that we had, like, he climbed up on. He's into climbing all of a sudden. So he
thinks it's a cat.
Yeah, he does, oddly, and he's such a smart boy. He's figured out that if he slams his little feet, he's 17 pounds, his little feet into the chair under the kitchen table, that he can push it out enough that he can jump on it and then jump onto the table.
Oh my gosh.
So I have found him on the table a couple of times. I thought, how do you do that? And then he happened to do it in front of me. I was like, what? So anyway, we had a plant on the kitchen table at one point, and there he was drinking the plant water. So I'm like, oh. So we're going with artificial this year until I can figure out how to get him out of that habit. Yeah.
And too, to have a real tree in your home with a dog who's not, a young dog who's not seen a real tree.
Well, and that's the thing. And he chews everything, right? And so he pulls on things because he's a puppy.
Yeah.
And then we've got our old fellow who's 15, Bud. And Bud's like, I don't want anything to do with anybody or anything. And when I put his little sweater on him last year for the Christmas pictures, he was like, oh.
It's this time of year again.
It is. Yeah. God. Oh, goodness. Yeah. And then, of course, Dad has a dog. She's a sheepdog. She's 80 pounds. Massive, beautiful, gorgeous dog. Love her. But she chases the little one around. And so I was like, oh, with a tree and everything? No.
So probably, well, I would say 12 years ago, we had an older dog. Or he was about, let's say he was like, I think maybe 7 at the time. And we also had a 6-month-old.
Oh.
Both labs.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we had put our tree in the middle of our kitchen and living room because it's kind of all open. So we put it up against the wall and whatever. Anyway, they got to chasing each other. I was at the kitchen sink, and I heard this like commotion and this running, and I turned around, and the older dog was chasing the younger one. His leg got caught in the lights, but he kept going, and the whole tree went smash.
Oh, I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, so since then, we've always pushed it back in the corner.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is we have a nativity scene. And so we had one where it went on the ground, and it was like a folding board almost, like it's wood, made out of wood, but it's all carved and everything, beautiful. And so anyway, my older dog no longer is house trained, right? So we have puppy pads just about everywhere. And so anyway, so I was sweeping up and I looked over and he had peed on the nativity scene. And I was like, oh dear. Oh dear.
Let's wipe off the baby Jesus.
Poor baby Jesus.
Jesus isn't there yet.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm cleaning it all up and put it. So we're really specific and quite selective on what decorations we have out at the house now because of the dogs. And Oh.
Do you know, I couldn't imagine having a cat.
Oh, no.
Because cats get in trees.
Right.
Yeah.
And
no.
they climb on stuff, right? So I think that's, I'm going to go with that's the reason I'm not a cat person, but anyway. So what's your, other than the tree, cutting down the tree with your family, what's your favorite Christmas tradition then?
We have a couple. My most favorite, however, Christmas Eve morning is cabbage roll making time.
Cabbage rolls?
Cabbage roll making time.
Really?
Yep. It's a recipe that, you know, my parents made, that it was from my father's family. And I mean, it's time consuming. It takes hours, but Christmas Eve morning is when we do it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And we have them after Mass.
Yes, yes, of course.
And Christmas Day, best day of the year ever, because we do this. We do nothing.
Oh.
We don't have a big meal.
Yeah.
We have cabbage rolls for supper that night again.
Oh, yeah.
Because our big day is Boxing
Right.
Day with family. We have no family here besides Kevin's mom.
Right.
And she goes to Kevin's sisters for Christmas. So
Oh, nice.
it's just cabbage roll time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
And what
sounds
about
good.
you?
Well, so my favorite tradition, to be honest with you, is Dad and I, since I was 4, we do it every year, since I was 4, go shopping on Christmas Eve.
Aww.
For one present for me and Mom's present.
I think I remember seeing that last year.
Yeah, it is Dad and I, and we do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not too crazy. But I remember my first time that we did that, I was 4, and I got Cowboy Kissing Barbie. Yeah, it was like, oh my, whoa, it was the most wonderful time of the year, and we have done it every year since.
You know what? That is so special.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, and he always says, "What does Mom want?" I'm like, "I don't know." So off we go, and then we usually grab a drink at the pub, and then we have some time together. So it's
beautiful.
It's our favorite thing. But we have such a great show lined up today. And I was so excited actually that we were going to be there because there's so much to talk about. But we have a great show lined up today. We have 2 wonderful guests that'll be joining us after the break, and I'm so excited. So for everybody at home, I always tell you to go grab a snack because that's what I would do while I'm watching my favorite show. So go grab that snack, and we'll see you right after break. Don't go too far. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, joined by my very special co-host, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave. I know, welcome back from the break. I hope you had a great snack, and we are about to dig into all things fashion, and I'm so excited to have our first guest on today. We are welcoming today Jennifer Edwards, who is the owner of Branded on the Boulevard, which one of my favorite places to shop. Yeah, I was heading this summer. I was heading to my high school reunion in Ottawa, and really outfitted myself quite well there. I was feeling pretty snazzy when I got to Ottawa, so thank you.
Fantastic.
That is the goal.
Well, see, there you go. So, and Jennifer was a great help. So that's one of the great things I love about shopping with you. But Jennifer, for those out there who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Jennifer Edwards. I was born and raised in Miramichi. I am the owner of Branded on the Boulevard, a locally owned and operated retail clothing store here on the square in downtown Newcastle.
Yes.
What most people don't know is I cater to exclusive and unique brands, and we also cover sizes extra small right to 3X, including footwear and accessories.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's wonderful.
It
I
is.
know, eh?
It is. And when I decided to open my store, I wanted to be able to provide fashionable clothing to women of all sizes. It was something we were missing here in Miramichi, and I believe when you look good on the outside, you feel better about yourself. And self-confidence in most women is something that we struggle with, especially when it comes to fashion.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Oh,
my
yes.
goal is with each customer that comes in, that they have a memorable shopping experience, and then we continue to build each other up as women. We're not all supermodels. We are real women, and we deserve to feel amazing in our own bodies again.
I will say this. So a couple of years ago, not realizing that Jennifer's store had plus sizes and regular sizes, I was looking for something actually for my mom, and wandered in and found some amazing workwear, and then I was heading out on our first date. at the time. And Jennifer's like, oh, we got to find you something good.
Something fabulous.
Yeah,
something
we gotta find
fabulous.
this. And it was fabulous. And I did wear it on my first date at the time. So, and then he and I dated for about 6 months after that. So thank you for that. But, so she does have great stuff in her store. Absolutely.
Wonderful. So because the Christmas holidays are upon us and Christmas parties, tell us what's in right now. What's in, what's hot, what's popular?
Well, right now it's a little bit of less is more.
Ooh.
So little black dresses that you can accessorize with some nice glitzy costume jewelry, cute little ankle boots, cute little cardigans that have a little bit of bling, and obviously things that you can incorporate into your existing wardrobe.
That's
Because
nice.
with the cost of everything, let's just face it, inflation has not been friendly to anybody. So when I've got people coming in looking for specific outfits, I try to explain to them it's something simple that you can mix and match to what you already have. So kind of like you almost have your own staple pieces already. Cute little black dress. Who doesn't have a classic little black dress? One thing that's massive this season is literally leather anything. Pants,
Oh, wow.
dresses, skirts, jackets, it's everywhere.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to go super, super basic
Yeah.
or glitz and glam with, you know, the right little piece of costume jewelry, cute little ankle boots, and you're ready to go from daytime to nighttime.
Wow, that's nice.
I know, eh?
And that's great too that you're not trying to sell people more,
Not at
more
all.
articles. You know, you're trying to incorporate it into what they
Exactly.
can do with it.
Exactly. Because, I mean, your staple pieces, they're versatile. They're classic pieces that they never go out of style. You can mix and match them with what you have, and they're not based on fashion trends. So a little black dress is great. A dark denim, a light denim, a neutral tone cardigan will get you through the fall winter. Leggings, hallelujah for leggings. An
love our
oversized
leggings.
sweater, and you know, even just a cute little ankle booty.
Yeah.
It will take your basic outfit from like 0 to 100.
Nice.
So we touched on it a little bit earlier. So you have a wonderful range of sizes.
I do.
Why was that so important for you?
My biggest thing was, to me, all women deserve to look and feel fabulous, regardless of size. And I think society makes us feel that we only have to be a 00. Let's just face it, we are not supermodels. We don't live in LA. And I want people to feel good when they come into my store. So I wanted to have that different range of clothing. So I bring in brands that are exclusive to my store. And it's just so totally different. Nice fabrics, they flow well, beautiful colors, very flattering. Myself, I am extremely vertically challenged, so there's not a lot of things that I can wear. So I face the same ups and downs as most women.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing is I try to take as much time as I can one-on-one with my customers so I can find that perfect outfit for them. And when somebody leaves with that biggest smile on their face, like that just warms my heart beyond belief.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And it does. It's just something something simple that I can do just to take a little bit of extra time. And I also offer private consultations too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And speaking of private, you do host private shopping parties, don't you?
Oh, girls, do I ever. Okay. You're getting into the goods now.
Yep.
So it's something that I actually started during COVID. The reason I did that was because during COVID, people were very scared and apprehensive about where to go and what to do. So I decided that I would open up my store and have private shopping events within your own household bubble.
Wow.
So during the events, the store is closed to the general public, and you basically would give me your guest list. You tell me who's coming in, and you shop and you have fun. We have discounts, we play music, and it was just so nice to see people smiling.
Yeah.
And truthfully, at the end of the day, you know, almost everybody was coming over crying and saying, you know what, thank you so much for bringing us together again. We did obviously make sure that all COVID-19 protocols were in place. Everyone still had their mask on and
Yeah,
all
of
that fun
course.
stuff. But it was such a huge success, I kept doing them.
That's awesome.
I don't blame you.
I'm still doing them now.
That's wonderful.
And it's just a different atmosphere now because there's no more bubble. And now you can come in with your friends and your coworkers or your family. And again, it's still your own environment.
That is so
and
fun.
we do draws, we do discounts, we just have we have some little munchies in there. We play some Christmas music. And again, it's just a nice way to relax, have fun, and then you get criticism from your girlfriends, because if your girlfriends can't tell you if something doesn't look right, who can? And I'm very honest with every single person that comes into my store regardless, but you always feel a little bit extra self-confident when you've got your girlfriends propping you up, right?
Absolutely. You know what I do? So I think probably most people have a girlfriend chat or, or guy chat, depending on, friend chat, whatever. And so when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to buy, or if I should wear something out and my girlfriends aren't with me, I will take a picture in the mirror and then send it to the girlfriend chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And say, does this look like I should leave the house in it, or should I put it back? And usually they'll be like, no, yeah, get that. They've talked me into a few things.
But everybody does that.
Yeah.
Because we always want recognition.
Yeah.
Because our self-confidence isn't like it used to be. So we always want to know that we look good, we want to feel good, but we want other people to tell us that as well.
Yeah.
I never let one person leave my store. If something does not look right on them, we try to find them something else.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That honesty is so important.
Absolutely.
And so that shows too that your clients are more important than making a sale.
Absolutely. If somebody leaves with a smile on their face, regardless if they leave with a shopping bag in their hand, that makes me happy.
Yeah. That's wonderful, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I know, and it's absolutely true, because I've been in quite a bit, so I know that for a fact. So winter is not my favorite season.
No,
I do not love it.
No,
the one thing I do love is that I just stick on a whole bunch of sweaters and I'm good to go. But talk to us about what's in for the winter.
Yeah.
Because I always feel, well, I usually tend to gain an extra 10 pounds anyway over the winter, but I always feel like with the clothes, because they're so heavy and putting on the boots and everything, I feel like I've gained 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about what's good for the winter.
Good for the winter. Personally, myself, I love a good little legging. It's a nice little piece to start. You could dress it up, a cardigan, something simple like this. You could do a little tank underneath. You don't want to be bulky. And I think the biggest mistake we make in the winter is we think that we all have to be bulky like the Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
Because it is cold. But you can still be warm and still be classy. So cardigans are a great way to go. Oversized sweaters are a nice thing. Love cardigans. A dark denim. Ankle boots, combat boots have made a big comeback.
Really?
Flared leg jeans, ladies, believe it or not. Yeah, wide leg jeans, flared leg jeans. Little denim jacket, never gonna go out of style. And layering, so you could do like a scarf on top of something. Wool coats are phenomenal, they're back in again. It's just all on how you put the whole package together. Some people are going little wool coats with little white sneakers, it looks great on them. Other ladies like to be a little bit more fashionable, and they're doing the knee, over the knee boots. Those are gorgeous, by the way, which I do sell in the store.
Yeah, they are. I have a calf the size of a buffalo, but it's really hard for me to get boots. But I love the fact, actually, I love the fact that ankle boots are coming back. To be honest with you, because I do have a wide collection of ankle boots. But I'm going to touch just for a second before Michelle has her next question, but you have shoes as well.
Oh, do I ever have shoes?
I know, because I bought a few.
My boots, I literally call them my babies. So when people come into the store and I give them the quick rundown, I'm like, and over here's my babies. And they kind of look at me and I'm like, oh no, it's just my boots. But yeah, so the boots that I carry, again, are brands that you cannot get anywhere else in Miramichi. So I do carry the Steve Madden brand, which is phenomenal. Steve Madden has been around forever.
That's what I have on my feet right now, Steve Madden.
I do as well. And I find that it's just easy to incorporate with whatever you're wearing. I do bring in another brand. It's called Relife, and it's leather vegan. So you do not need to spray it. You just literally put it on, wear it, and go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is fabulous because sometimes you just don't want to go the extra steps. And then the other brand that I currently bring in, it's called Muse, and they are a genuine Italian shoe line.
Wow.
So they're gorgeous as well. But it's just little things that you could either do little ankle booties. You can go, like I said, over the knee, above the knee. Everything kind of goes. Combat boots. Boots are boots everywhere, everywhere. There's no shoes. I haven't seen very many shoes this season. Now, spring, summer coming up, that's a whole new story.
I can't wait.
That's a whole new story, which they'll start getting spring, summer stock out probably by end January, mid-February.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So talking about combat boots, I've always worn combat boots. I've got my first pair of Doc Martens, I think, when I was 21.
Oh, I had a great pair too.
And I still have that pair. I
Yeah.
probably have about 5 pairs. So staples in my
Staples.
wardrobe
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
Doc Martens,
Yeah.
camouflage pants,
Yes.
camouflage
Yes.
leggings, and anything tie-dye.
Oh.
So I'm not much, and where I don't work anymore, so I don't buy a whole lot of new clothes.
Yeah.
But you're
That's-
right on trend.
Well, that's
You are right on trend, sweetheart.
That is wonderful.
Perfect.
So, what are staples? You know, you had mentioned, about the little black dress and
Yeah.
stuff. For like a party. So, what are some other staples that we should have in our closets? Like all year round, maybe.
All year round, I would say a good denim jacket, because denim goes from anything from very, very basic to you can dress it up. Especially some of the denim jackets now, they have little appliques, they have little studs on them.
It's probably one of the few things I don't actually have.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll fix that.
Okay, very good.
We'll fix that.
Very good.
A really nice weight cardigan, a neutral tone cardigan, something that you could wear with jeans, something you could wear with leggings, because a cardigan you can dress up or dress
That's
it down.
true.
And that's the thing with the cost of everything, I try when customers come in to give them options that they can integrate into their existing wardrobe. So that's why leggings is always a nice go-to, because you can take a pair of leggings, go with an oversized sweatshirt, pair of combat boots, very basic. You could take leggings, a beautiful tunic, a long cardigan, a little pair of ankle boots, and you're ready for a night on the town or supper out with the girls. It just gives you much more versatility. The other thing that will dress up anything is jewelry, costume jewelry. And who doesn't love jewelry, right, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
A little
Yes.
bit of bling
Yeah.
goes a long way. We don't have to go to the massive extremes where all you see is sequins and diamonds, but
Right.
a little bit of classic layering jewelry is gorgeous. And it just takes something so basic and takes it to the next level.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it.
And a cute handbag doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and that's I do have a lot of those in my closet, and then it's funny because I have a ton of them, to be honest with you, and then I get stuck on the same one, and I take that everywhere for 6 months.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
too, because then you have to take stuff out.
I know,
That's
that's a
right.
lot.
That's
It's a
right.
lot.
It's it's even though it's 5 minutes,
I know.
maybe,
Yeah.
but it's still a lot.
It is. It's a lot.
And then you'll always forget something
Yes.
in the other handbag.
Yes.
So you either choose a handbag that you're going to basically use on an everyday basis, or you pick one that you're going to use just for that special occasion.
Right.
That's what I find is a lot easier, because every one of us does the same thing. The minute we switch handbags, it's like, uh-oh, where is it? It's in the other one.
do that
Or
all
we
the
go to the bottomless pit where you buy the handbag that there's nothing but a big black
like a
hole.
suitcase.
Yeah. And then you just put everything in there, literally but the kitchen sink.
Yes.
And you're in a hurry, your phone's ringing, you're at the grocery store, and you can't find anything.
Too big.
Yeah, so sometimes with handbags, smaller is better. Backpacks are back in again, believe it or not.
Well, and I've seen those.
They're really cute.
Yeah.
Very functional, lots of room. And even just like the cute little handheld totes are nice, but you're not seeing so much this season like the big, massive, oversized handbags. So which is nice, because like I said, I call it the bottomless pit, because it just never ends.
Well, you can put your lunch and everything in there.
Yes.
So we're almost out of time. We've got 2 minutes left, but I want to make sure, where do people find you?
I am located on the square in downtown Newcastle. So my physical address is 129 Newcastle Boulevard, literally right across from Crockers and besides Greco.
Yes.
One thing I would like to mention is that I'm doing a couple of different things right now. We are doing our 12 Days of Christmas.
Ooh.
So start at December 1st, right through to December 12th. I'm doing a different discount every day.
Wow.
So it'll be a minimum of 20% off of either a specific brand or a specific item right through till the 12th.
Amazing.
Plus, I've extended my business hours. I know, ladies, I'm not there enough, so we're going to stay a little bit longer. Yep. So Monday to Wednesday, we're there 10 to 5. Thursday, Friday, I've extended my hours 10 to 8. Saturday, we are 10 to 6. And Sunday, 12 to 5.
Wonderful.
So there's still lots of shopping time left before the holidays, you know, and we are there to try and make Christmas shopping as stress-free as possible.
We love it. So thank you so much to Jennifer for hanging out with us today. Go see her get that perfect outfit, and we'll be right back after the break. Don't go too far.
Thank you, ladies.
Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined, of course, by my fantastic co-host, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave. Thank you, Michelle. We've been hanging out together all day.
Welcome, Vera.
I know, it's very exciting. And now we are joined by another wonderful guest, and we are so pleased to have her. So I've known Nadine for quite a few years, but I'm so pleased to have her on the show. We are now joined by Nadine Duguay-Lemay, and you are the CEO of Cohesia and Dialogue NB.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And we dragged her all the way here from Moncton, although you did live here for quite a bit.
For 8 years.
I know, it's great. I remember. It was wonderful. So for those out there who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you.
So I was born in Tracadie. I like to call myself citizen of the world. I lived in Alberta, Costa Rica, all around New Brunswick, and of course 8 years in Miramichi.
Yes.
Perhaps for the viewers, because we are in Miramichi, you might remember I was the founder of My Pie.
I remember.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And Women of Miramichi.
Yes.
Is that still going on?
They just had the gala, the awards on Saturday night. And we didn't
beautiful.
mention that in our quick chat, but they did. They did have the awards on Saturday night.
That's beautiful. Well, you remember, Veronique, like when we worked on that like years ago under Enterprise Miramichi. So yes, I was a founder of those entities.
Yes.
I have 2 children, married to, you know, my neighbor. Like, not my neighbor, but he was my neighbor. We grew up together. We reconnected when I went to Moncton.
That's wonderful.
So that's Richard. And yeah, I've been the CEO of Dialogue NB since 2018. So it'll be 5 years in February.
That's amazing.
I know, eh?
So you're the CEO of both Cohesia and Dialogue NB.
Yes.
So can you tell us what both of those entities are?
Yes, well, let's simplify it. So Dialogue New Brunswick is the not-for-profit entity that's been around since 1990. When I took the helm in 2018, we've changed the mandate so that it became the only not-for-profit organization in the province that really represents all New Brunswickers. So our mandate is about social cohesion. We'll talk about that, what that means, but really making New Brunswick as socially cohesive as possible, right? Through programs, through initiatives that we'll talk about later on. Cohesia now is the social enterprise that is owned by Dialogue New Brunswick that we created last year in order to respond to a demand in the marketplace with respect to organizations who wanted to really foster authentic inclusion. What does that mean, right? As we talk about equity, diversity, inclusion, anti-racism, anti-oppression. So we've built this social enterprise that has products and services that we've developed in the last year and just launched a few weeks ago.
Wow.
So that's why you're just starting to hear about it. So I wear both hats, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You're busy?
That's amazing.
A little bit.
With 2 kids as well.
Yes. Well, they're grown, but still, little problems.
Oh my God. So, and that's amazing because, you know, when we talk about those, not just hot topics, but truly what affects New Brunswicker, you know, New Brunswickers on a daily basis, like racism and you know, and that social cohesion. It's amazing to know that there is an organization out there looking to improve that for everybody. So we know that Dialogue NB organizes and facilitates so many public dialogues on a variety of topics, but talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so this is really fantastic because I've been developing public dialogues like for years, right? Did I do some in Miramichi? I don't think so, but since I've been in Moncton, you know, under the Rotary umbrella, we've done some public dialogues on the Me Too movement and, you know, we've unpacked those. And then when I joined Dialogue New Brunswick, I was like, we're not doing public dialogues, but it's dialogue, right?
Right.
So we should be
it's dialoguing.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was really great to bring, if you will, all of that experience under one umbrella. And so over the last 3 years, I think we've oh my goodness, organized like 30 some dialogues,
Wow.
right? That have reached like 40,000 New Brunswickers thanks to Rogers and, social media channels. But really some of the public dialogues recently, we did one on equity and access in healthcare.
Amazing.
Yes, a lot of New Brunswickers need to travel the distance that it would take from here to, I want to say, the moon. Like it's ridiculous, right, to access to specialized care.
Yeah.
And so we did a dialogue on that, of course, on equity, diversity, inclusion, many dialogues on that. We did one on financial resilience for women. That was
Yes.
really exciting last year in November.
Yeah.
Yes, women, especially if you're marginalized or racialized, there are different challenges that you're facing. And so, yeah. So that was
And to
really
bring that up, as a dialogue, as a conversation amongst the public, like that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
So how can the public support Cohesion and Dialogue New Brunswick?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Well, of course, with Dialogue New Brunswick, I mean, there are different ways. We're always looking for panelists, and we like to have panelists from different viewpoints, right, from all walks of life that we like to say. It doesn't need to be a PhD, right, because lived experience is actually really, really important.
It is.
So yes, if you want to participate and even suggest a topic, that is great. We of course, we fundraise everything from scratch.
Of course.
So that's right.
As
a not-for-profit
nonprofits
entity.
do, yes.
Yes. So that's really challenging. So of course, if you want to support Dialogue NB or even just sponsor a dialogue, that's great. My goodness, I'm trying to think all the ways you can get involved. I think we have a sign up as a volunteer on our website, but go check out the website, dialoguenb.org, that's for sure. And then on the Cohesia side, participate in our workshops. We have one this Friday on, how to build inclusive workplaces. It's offered in French. Yeah, so we've been offering these workshops, or we were prototyping them both in English and in French. But this is the great thing about Cohesia. It's actually one of the only small organizations, that offers it in both official languages. So that's great, because
That's
I'll tell
great.
you the French offering is really lacking when
Yeah,
it
it
comes
would
to the
be. Yeah.
EDIAR.
Yeah, absolutely, it would be, and I know that you did a lot of work, even in the area around, Francophone, inclusion and things like that. So it's
I was
amazing.
teaching French.
I know.
You remember that? I was
do.
teaching French,
and you
in
were
my language
translating at the
institute.
time too.
Yes,
yeah. I remember. Yeah, it was. That was when I was with the Chamber of Commerce when we first met. It's hard to believe it's been since 2011 though that you've been gone.
But I think stop.
I know. 'Cause I'm like, that was. I don't know. You were gone a couple years ago. I know. It hasn't been that long, right?
I know.
But it's hard to believe. But
Yes.
so. What other initiatives do you have on the go, and have done over the last little bit? I mean, you've been there 5 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's, exciting stuff happening for 2023, so can't really divulge everything today, but stay tuned because we're really working on something exciting. What I will tease out is when we changed the mandate of Dialogue New Brunswick in 2018, we had the ambition of becoming the subject matter experts in Canada with respect to social cohesion. And why was that? New Brunswick has that unique aspect, right? Miramichi is actually the perfect, for me, hub, because you have all these cultures meshing together. You're surrounded by 3 First Nations communities, Irish heritage, French, everything. So that was, if we can't make it work in New Brunswick, then, for the rest of Canada, that was always kind of my thinking. But yes, some ambition, if you will, bigger than New Brunswick are coming.
Wow.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's what I'm going to tease out.
That is exciting.
Well, we've been asked a lot over the years, right? Can we do a dialogue in Nova Scotia? What about Ontario? Well, yeah, it's a little difficult. With the mandate dialogue New Brunswick.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But stay tuned.
Oh, well, I can't wait.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So tell us about the board of directors that you have.
So we have 11 board members. They're all volunteers. So oh my goodness, I think they contribute close to 500 volunteer hours yearly to fostering the mission of Dialogue New Brunswick. Our current chair is Jason Alcorn. Oh my goodness, what a smart man. He's currently professor of law at University of Moncton. He's currently pursuing his PhD in law. Anyways, just a smart guy, lawyer, doing his thing. But what I like about our board is the diversity right? Like you can look at the board members, and that to me, that's New Brunswick. That's what it should be. We have representative from racialized communities, representative from marginalized communities. We have almost gender parity. It's hard with 11, but we're, I think it's like 40% or no, you're not 50, but close to that, on the gender parity side. So so the board is fantastic and very supportive.
From a leadership perspective and your leadership in this area, why was it so critical for you? Why so important for you? Why is it something that,
the
means
diversity?
So much? Yeah.
Well, that's a great question, Veronique. I think I was born that way. No, but seriously, at 5 years old, I remember, just being so concerned about what was going on in the world. I was that kid in class where I would always look out for the person that wasn't picked, to be on a team. So I always had that lens, and I think with, living in Costa Rica, living in, across Canada has given me that perspective. But 2015 really changed my worldview when I went to Nunavut in the context of the General's Canadian Leadership Conference, right? And that completely blew my mind. Things that I thought I knew, and you get there and first day is like, oh, let's talk about the Kikitani Truth Commission. And you're like, the what? Yeah, they, all the killing of the sleigh dogs and how the Inuit people were displaced, and it's like, oh my goodness, I did not learn that in school, right?
No, yeah.
So then became really the question, and then when I came back from that experience, 2 weeks, and it was the year in 2015 when the Truth and Reconciliation report came out, and I came back to New Brunswick, and it was radio silence, radio silence. Like nobody was talking about it, right? And so this is when we really. So by then, a few years later, it was a dialogue, and he's like, oh, we're going to do something about that.
That's wonderful.
So we have 2 Indigenous people, both from the Mi'kmaq and the Wolastoqey communities on our board, and they're just wonderful. So I think it's just, that's what I believe.
It was your thing.
Yes.
It was part of you.
Well, it's, yes.
It was part of you.
Very much so. Very much so.
Understand that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it. I love everything about it, really.
Yeah, because we have to have certain conversations that aren't happening and topics that people don't even know about, like what you just described to us about, the sleigh dogs and Inuit being displaced. Like, we don't know that here.
Well, we don't, and from our generation, we didn't get to learn this in school, right? Like our kids, fortunately, it's starting to change the curriculum. We're putting more Black content into the school curriculum. You were in the school district, so you probably saw the evolution. But yeah, there's still a long ways to go. And it's interesting, if I, parenthèse on social cohesion, when we did the research for New Brunswick, and are we a socially cohesive province, and the answer on most part is yes, we are, despite what we could think or see at times. But perception of diversity, acceptance of diversity is what we need to work on as New Brunswickers. We think that we're welcoming, and we're very welcoming. Yeah. But the difference between being welcoming, is like, oh, yes, come, Syrians, refugees, or whatever, everyone, do we invite them to come into our home for dinner? Do we invite them to, do something? Yeah. So that's being inclusive. So that's the difference between, and that's where we need to work on, so we don't get this perception of, oh, they're coming to steal jobs. That's
absolutely,
for example.
Well, and it's been a huge conversation here in Miramichi. The council previous to the one currently, really made it a focus to grow our population through immigration.
Yes.
Right? Because for a long time, we know in Miramichi, we were losing people.
People were leaving.
Right? We were losing people. They were moving out. And now for the first time in decades, we actually had a population increase in the last census. So we're now over 18,000, where we had not been for quite a long time. But it was really on focusing on how do we create a more inclusive, more welcoming, but inclusive society here. And the Multicultural Association and those partnerships have been wonderful. But it really has been about helping people who are new Canadians settle, right? And build a community, because we know when you build community, then you're more likely to stay. It's not just about, bringing in as many refugees as we can. It's about actually, helping people to find home and family here and community. So it's been a focus of both the previous council and now the current council, which is good. I'm glad it's something we work on.
And it is working.
It is.
I was talking with the kids recently, and we were talking about, when I first moved here, I didn't see a whole lot of different nationalities, and now it's just wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have when I was still working with the Multicultural Association, we had we had about 99 countries represented here in Miramichi, which is amazing. So we're almost out of time.
Oh, already?
Yeah, I know. I know. So we only have I know I don't know where the time goes, but we only have a couple of minutes left. But really, what are those last few thoughts that you really want the people out there to know about Cohesia and about Dialogue NB?
Really, just go check out our website, right? Cohesia.ca, again, dialoguenb.org, or our social media. We have a really killer director of communication who's in the room right now, and she does a great job on our social media.
Yes.
So check out what we do. But yeah, there are different ways to get involved. But on the Cohesia side, definitely sign up for our workshops. We have 3 online courses. You know, we have diagnostic tools if you want to just like, how am I doing as an organization, right? Inclusive leadership, like, anyway, so go check out all the products and offering. That's really cool. What else can I tell you about Dialogue NB? Yeah, stay tuned in January 2023.
Can't wait to
Big
hear
things to
all
come.
about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all about it. Well, it's been an amazing show. We had 2 wonderful guests, and you know, we're learning about new stuff.
Oh, definitely.
I know.
Definitely.
I love it. And I
Thank
got to
you
hang out
so
with
much.
Michelle.
Wow.
I know we haven't seen each other for a little bit, so it's, you know,
Just catching up.
I know. Well, that's what happens, right? Like, and that's what happens is, you know, you get very busy and you have the best of intentions, right? And you say, you know, we need to get together. And I've said that to her a few times now. I'm like, we need to get together, and we always say yes.
Yep.
And then we
We'll
don't.
do it soon.
I know. And I think that's what being an adult is, right? Is constantly saying, I need to spend some time with you, and we'll find some time. And then not.
And then not. And it's
Yeah.
important too, you know, to
So
do
my last
that.
question to you though, Nadine, real or artificial tree?
Oh my goodness, we migrated to artificial 6 years ago.
Michelle's horrified.
I know, but so this would be an interesting discussion. Actually, I know we're out of time, but because environment is really important to me. I have really environmental values, and so that was kind of part of the decision. But I'll tell you, is it though? It's not. It would be better to cut trees.
It is much better
Really?
to cut a tree down because
Really?
And her husband knows about it.
yes, because
Okay.
the tree farmers, Christmas tree growers, you know, they have
Yeah.
specific land that is conducive to that kind of vegetation, whereas it's not conducive to farming.
Right.
And trees, as they produce for, you know, 40 years or however many years it takes, that, you know, for the size that we want, they take that carbon dioxide out of our environment, and they put in oxygen.
Okay.
Christmas trees.
She's going to teach us more about that next time.
Okay, so I have to migrate back to a real
Right.
tree. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing week from all of us to all of you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
I know.
Oh yeah.